Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mayor Teresa Jacobs' 2017 State of the County. My name is Maria Triscari, and I am President and CEO of the International Drive Resort Area Chamber of Commerce, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all here today. As you may know, the International Drive Resort Area is booming with new growth and developments and transforming into an even more exciting and diverse resort destination. It's hard to believe that 46 short years ago, the International Drive Resort Area has become such an incredible destination with 130 hotels. That's 45,000 hotel rooms. We have 350 restaurants, 900 retail outlets, 3 entertainment complexes, 32 attractions, 5 amazing world-class theme parks, including SeaWorld, Aquatica, Universal Orlando, Islands of Adventure, and soon to open Universal's Volcano Bay. And of course, our shining jewel, the Orange County Convention Center, the second largest convention center in the country. International Drive now employs over 75,000 people, and we represent 10% of Orange County's tax base. With over $1 billion in new and planned development, we are well on our way to ensure the International Drive Resort Area and Orlando's tourism industry will continue to grow and prosper well into the future. And that never would have happened without the support and leadership of Mayor Teresa Jacobs and all of our elected officials who have worked so closely through the years with developers and visionaries in the private sector to help us grow and prosper. So on behalf of the entire International Drive Resort Area community, we would like to thank you for your partnership, your leadership, and undying dedication to our community. Right now, I'd like to introduce our first guest speaker, Mr. Chuck Whittle. As you know, International Drive is home to many entrepreneurs, people who have a dream and make their dream become a reality. And that is exactly what Chuck Whittle has done with one of his visions, the amazing iDrive 360 venue that we are all celebrating in today. Chuck is president and CEO of Unicorp, one of the premier developers in the country. Chuck is a self-made man who came from humble beginnings and through sheer hard work and determination has created a company known for its iconic developments and breathtaking venues. It is a pleasure to welcome to the stage Mr. Chuck Whittle.
Thank you, Maria. Welcome, everybody. How cool is this room? How cool is this event? I'm Chuck from Unicorp National Developments. I'm a lifelong resident of Orange County. I was born here. I actually went to Disney the first week it opened, and my father was a fireman here. And Orange County's been such a great place to grow up and live. And we've done such a great job coming out of the recession. We rose from the ashes of the recession to build this great project here. You know, as demonstrated by the wheel, the wheels of progress continue to turn. And the vision for iDrive and what Mayor Jacobs has done and her vision and the vision of Orange County and the entire staff is transforming International Drive into this just absolutely wonderful, wonderful place. We're going to redevelop the Wyndham next door. We're going to put more hotels there. You're going to see in the next couple of weeks, we're going to break ground on the Starflyer ride, which is the world's tallest swing ride, 450 foot tall. We hope everybody comes and enjoys it. And there's a lot of wonderful new things that are going to happen on iDrive. On the front of this project, we can't tell you who it is yet, but we have a world-class attraction coming to the front, and it's a major, major deal. So we'll be announcing that in the upcoming weeks. But anyhow, we're glad to have everybody out here today. It's an exciting time for us. It's an exciting time for iDrive, and it's a super exciting time for Orange County. After this presentation is done today, everybody is welcome to enjoy Sea Life Aquarium, Madame Tussauds, and certainly please ride the wheel and get a great view of what a great county Orange County is. Thank you.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fred Kittinger with the University of Central Florida, and what a great day to be in Orange County, Florida. We arrived here this morning with the sun on our back. We were welcomed by the beautiful musical tones from the Oak Ridge Symphony Orchestra here today. Go Pioneers. And, thank you. And when we each walked in here today, I'm reckoning that we were probably half full with celebration for all the successes and achievements of last year, and also half full with excitement and anticipation for the opportunities that lie ahead of us in the year that stands before us. Now, this morning, I first want to thank Chuck and Maria for y'all's hospitality this morning. This is a spectacular venue to be here at the Coca-Cola Eye, and thank you for rolling out the red carpet for all of our guests here this morning. Please join me once again in welcoming Maria and Chuck. Thank you. We also want to thank our outstanding sponsors. It's their support that makes this morning's convening possible. First and foremost, we're hosted by the Central Florida Hotel and Lodging Association. To Rich Maladecki and the entire board and staff at CFHLA, thank you so much for your faithful support of this program. Rich would have loved to have been here this morning, but he is at his own celebration. His father is celebrating his 90th birthday. And so Rich is out of time with him. I understand right now this morning they should be hitting the Bloody Mary bar, and then they're getting matching tattoos right afterwards. But thanks to Rich and all the CFHLA folks. I also want to give very special recognition to our presenting sponsors here this morning. Charter Spectrum, TV, Internet, and Voice. We're so proud to recognize your role here in Central Florida and across the state. Unicorp National Development. Let's hear it again for Chuck Whittle and the entire iDrive 360 team. Iberia Bank. Iberia Bank, which is a proud leading member of our banking community, not only here in Central Florida, but throughout the Southeast. Now, in addition to those presenting sponsors, we've had some tremendous generous support from Walt Disney World Parks and Resorts, Universal Orlando Resorts, SeaWorld Parks and Resorts Orlando, Bags, Premier Elevators Company, Orlando Health, the iDrive Business Improvement District, and last but not least, the International Drive Resort Area Chamber of Commerce. Please join me in thanking and recognizing all of this morning's sponsors. Now, in just a minute, I'm going to recognize our elected leaders and community leaders from across Central Florida that gathered here today. But first of all, I want to bring up a rather sad note. I think most of you all were getting alerts this morning. I know Mayor Jacobs got it early this morning, that former Osceola County Chairman Frank Atkinson was tragically killed yesterday in a bicycle accident. Frank, as you all know, was a tireless and energetic leader here in Central Florida, whether it be transportation, economic development, environmental protection. So we can just take a moment in our private thoughts and prayers and offer up our thoughts and prayers to Frank and his family. Thank you. Now it's my pleasure to recognize those folks who have offered themselves up for public service here in our community. First of all, our Deputy Chief of Police from the City of Orlando Police Department, Robert Enzueto. Our State Attorney, Aramis Ayala. Orange County Commissioner, Emily Bonilla. From the Town of Windermere, Mayor Gary Brune. Orange County Commissioner Pete Clark. From the mayor from the Town of Eatonville, Eddie Cole. Bill Cowles, our Supervisor of Elections here in Orange County. Former Orange County Mayor Richard Crotty is with us today. Phil Diamond, Orange County Comptroller. John Dallas, Council President from the City of Edgewood. From the City of Orlando, Mayor Buddy Dyer. Jim Gray, City of Orlando Commissioner. Also from the City of Orlando Commission, Commissioner Regina Hill. From the City of Edgewood, Councilmember Richard Horn. Also from the City of Orlando, Commissioner Samuel Ings. Joining us from the Orange County Public Schools, our Superintendent, Barbara Jenkins. The Mayor from the City of Apopka, Joe Kilsheimer. Serving on the Orange County School Board Member Linda Cobert. The City of Belle Isle Commissioner, Bobby Lance. Our Chief Judge for the 9th Judicial Circuit, Frederick Lawton. The Mayor from the City of Winter Park, Steve Leary. Joining us today is also the Mayor of the City of Orlando, from Maitland, Dale McDonald. From the Town of Oakland, Commissioner Joseph McMullen. United States Congressman John Mica. Back from Tallahassee this morning, from our Florida House of Representative member Mike Miller. The Office of Orange County Clerk of the Courts, our clerk Tiffany Moore Russell. Supervisor from the Orange County Soil and Water Conservation Board, Daisy Morales. Orange County Commissioner Brian Nelson. The Consul General from the Consulate of Columbia, Ileana Pedrosa. The Mayor of the City of Belle Isle, Lydia Pisano. Sal Ramos, who was the Town of Oakland Commissioner. And our Orange County Tax Collector, Scott Randolph. Eric Rollins, who serves as the chair of the Orange County Soil and Water Conservation Board. Mr. Juan Sabinas, who's the Consul General of the Consulate of Mexico. Vice Mayor from the Town of Oakland, Mike Satterfield. Rick Singh, our Orange County Property Appraiser. Victoria Siplin, Orange County Commissioner. The mayor from the town of Oakland and retired as of yesterday from 40 years at Walt Disney World, Kathy Stark. Our Orange County School Board Chair, Bill Sublett. Jennifer Thompson, our Orange County Commissioner. We're represented today by the Office of State Senator Victor Torres. From the Orange County Commission, Commissioner Betsy Vanderlei. And finally, our Orange County Acting Under Sheriff Larry Zwig. Please join me in recognizing and thanking those who are offering themselves up for public service. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to please stand now for the presentation of our colors by a joint honor guard of the Orange County Sheriff's Office and the Orlando Police Department. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be delivered by Priscilla Kalajian, a former U.S. Army Sergeant First Class, and for the National Anthem to be performed by Orange County Fire Rescue firefighter Brandon Royal.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please take your seats. I want to thank our Joint Honor Guard this morning and thank all the men and women who offer themselves up to protect and to serve our community every day. And Sergeant, thank you so much for joining us today and for your service to our country. And Brandon, many of you all may know, is not only an Orange County firefighter, but he is competing in the upper levels of the NBC show, The Voice. And in fact, about a week ago, Brandon, within 30 seconds, you had hugs from both Gwen Stefani and your bromance partner, Blake Shelton. But I'm a little bit worried and getting jealous of Brandon. I mean, you got this great voice, this great-looking firefighter, and after the last episode, I had my wife and daughter over watching the show, and I swear when I went to go get a refill of my drink, I heard my daughter turn to my wife and say, maybe we should start playing with matches. But thank you both for joining us this morning. Please join me in thanking and welcoming the Sergeant and Brandon. Now, ladies and gentlemen, individually and collectively, we seek both guidance in our lives as well as opportunity to give thanks. And we're very fortunate to have this morning joining us from Central Florida's own Three Wise Guys. These are the gentlemen who provide faith-based, real-world spiritual guidance in their acclaimed talk radio show, Friends Talking Faith. Joining us this morning, the Reverend Brian Fullwider from the United Church of Christ, Imam Muhammad Musri, and Rabbi Stephen Ingold, Congregation of Reform Judaism. Welcome, gentlemen. Please come forward.
Good morning. Have you heard the one about the rabbi, the reverend, and the imam? A few around the country and the world have, and certainly I hope that you have, because Orange County is the home to the Three Wise Guys here in Central Florida. In our work and in the Jewish tradition, peace is amongst our highest values. It is written in our tradition, "Blessed are the peacemakers." Blessed are our mayor and our county commissioners who have sought to create a real sense of peace here in Orange County. In a world bereft with insensitivity, cruelty, and even violence sometimes, we shout out loudly and clearly here in Orange County, blessed are those who embrace diversity and difference. Blessed are those who value each and every person. Blessed are those who reach out instead of just in. Blessed are those who see others as not the other, but as a sacred sister or brother. Blessed are those who see disagreement as an opportunity and not as a cause for conflict. Blessed are those who lead with wisdom and an open ear, our leadership here in Orange County. Blessed are those leaders whose hearts are filled with love and compassion. Blessed are each and every one of you. Blessed are each and every one of the citizens of Orange County who have been given the opportunity to be a peacemaker. Let us not defer nor neglect from doing this, and let us all take this responsibility as a challenge.
We know that Orange County is a place where fantasies and dreams come true. They gave 3 clergy a minute each. Let us pray. Oh God, you are love. You love us all the same in full measure and running over. So we stand together in hope. Despite the tragedy our community faced on June 12th last year, we stood together as a community of hope, finding the strength we needed through your unconditional love. Mayor Jacobs, along with other community leaders, exemplified your hope and love in that moment, as she has done throughout this past year. She has helped to remind us that we are children of promise. Even when we face great adversity, we are children of promise. We face many challenges in our time. Continue to grant Mayor Jacobs wisdom and insight as she seeks always to lead in love and compassion, for we are persuaded that nothing, not one thing, can separate us from your love, and that brings us hope. Give Mayor Jacobs continued courage and strength to lead us forward as a community, guided by your light of love and hope. Amen.
God of Abraham and of all people, we invoke your holy name on this gathering of our community. God, you created us and made us a diverse people. God, help us, despite the differences in our faith, to have unity in our faith in your overwhelming love. And despite the differences in our tongues, to unite us in speaking the language of respect to one another. And despite the differences in our politics, to unite us in service to our country. God, after the Pulse tragedy, our Honorable Mayor Teresa Jacobs called for a meeting of a large group of diverse religious leaders to unite our response and opposition to violence and hate. and to ensure that the evil which visited our community would only release the boundless love and goodness of this community. God, we entrust to you your support and protection, our mayors, our leaders, our elected officials, our county commissioners, our sheriff and police chief and deputies. We entrust to you this city and this community, and we ask you to guide our leaders, guide their decisions, bless their work, and keep them safe. Amen.
And for all of Orange County, we say, Shalom Aleichem.
Erene Sesas.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with
upon
you.
Reverend Imam, Rabbi, thank you so much for joining us this morning and reminding us that at all times, good and bad in between, we need to turn to our Creator. Thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. Well, folks, it's now my great pleasure to introduce an individual who's going to properly introduce Mayor Teresa Jacobs for the State of the County address. Now, to paraphrase a line from the musical The Sound of Music, what do you call a man like Mel Martinez? He's a father, husband, grandfather of 4. A counselor. He practiced law and private practice here in Orlando for over 25 years. He served as mayor for Orange County, a job that he'll quietly tell you inside is the most fun job he's had throughout all of his professional career years. But he served as mayor of Orange County. President George W. Bush asked him to come serve in Washington as the 12th Secretary for the Department of Health and Urban Development. And then in 2004, he became the first Cuban American to be elected to the United States Senate. And now he serves as a senior international banker for J.P. Morgan Chase. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether you call him mayor, Mr. Secretary, or senator, I do know this for sure. He is one of Central Florida's most favorite sons. Please join me in welcoming Senator Mel Martinez.
Well, good morning, everyone. What a great pleasure to be with you this morning and to be on iDrive, a place that continues to change and evolve. I want to just tell you that I'm really proud to be here this morning to introduce our mayor. Before I do, I want to just first acknowledge all of our many elected officials that are here. And as it always happens when you start reading the list of all those that are here, I don't believe that the great mayor of Orlando was introduced. So, Mayor Dyer, would you please say hello this morning to those that are gathered here? So I'm here to introduce the mayor this morning because I know that the job that she has is demanding, it is taxing, it is challenging. It is, to me, not only a really hard-working kind of job, but one that taxes all of your skills. As Fred kindly pointed out, although he got the department wrong, it is HUD, H-U-D, not HHS, but that's okay. Who noticed? Anyway, but you know, all of those different challenges and jobs, there was none that taxed all my talent and all my interest as the Orange County Mayor's job did. It is a varied, it's a significant job, and it is a job for which, as I was preparing to introduce the mayor, I started reminiscing a little bit about the job. And so, not only are you running one of the largest jails in the country, but you also have to think about all of that. You got to consider that preparing
introduction. Senator Martinez reminded me when he got here that he used to show up for his own state of the counties about 15 minutes before they started. This morning he was here at about 7. So he pointed that out, and I didn't realize that they asked Senator Martinez to be here so early. But Senator Martinez, since you left, little story, I ran for the county commission in 2000. Senator Martinez was a supporter of mine. I was really looking forward to having 6 years. He had 6 years left of his term, 6 years to work together. I had just so much admiration for you. 6 weeks later, he left. He was asked to serve in the cabinet, and you can't argue with that, right? But I still argued with him. I felt deserted, and I have been looking all this time for a way to get even, and so we made you arrive at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm so delighted to also welcome and see here former Mayor Rich Crowdy. Where's Rich? Rich, great to have you here. And I'm so sorry that under the circumstances, Mayor Linda Chapin can't join us this morning. To all the elected officials that are here today, thank you for joining us. But above all, I'm so proud to be able to deliver this annual report to you, our Central Florida community, a community that is more collaborative than ever, more deeply compassionate than even we knew, and in so many ways, a community that is growing more confident every day. From historic milestones to the heartbreaking reality we awoke to on June 12th, we've traveled many, many miles together this year. We've learned from each other, and we've leaned on each other, and in doing so, we've grown so much stronger. Serving as your mayor for the last 6 years has been a profound privilege, and for me, it's been a genuine labor of love. But I'm certainly not alone in this, and I am so grateful to serve with our incredibly hardworking Board of County Commissioners. I want to recognize again the members of our commission, true, dedicated public servants. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing our board. Commissioners Betsy Vanderlei. Where is my stunt double? There she is. That is really going to come in handy. Commissioner Brian Nelson, Pete Clark, Jennifer Thompson, Emily Bonilla, and Victoria Siplin. Thank you. I can tell you that they each bring their own passion and their unique perspectives to the dialogue, to the debate, and to the decision making, and that makes us make better decisions. Orange County also has an incredibly strong senior management team, and that team starts with our county administrator, Ajit Lachandani. Mayor Chapin was the first to recognize his tremendous potential, and she promoted him to Public Works Director. Senator Martinez, what a great decision that you made to appoint him as county administrator. Thank you for that. And Mayor Crowdy, thanks for not firing him. But the leadership team doesn't, he just did like this. There were probably moments. The leadership team certainly doesn't stop there. We have our county attorney, Jeff Newton, our chief financial officer, Eric Gassman, our public health and safety director, you all probably know him best as Batman, Dr. Rawls. And we have our fire chief, Otto Droz, our corrections chief, Cornita Riley, our assistant county administrators, Chris Testerman, Jim Harrison, and Randy Singh. And no, I am not going to try to name all 7,500 county employees, but it would be tempting. And of course, there's my chief of staff, Graciela Noriega Jacoby, who does so much more than any job description could ever entail. Please join me in recognizing our phenomenal leadership team. In fact, if I could ask all members of Orange County government that are here today to stand up so that we can recognize all of our public employees. Wow. So I was told we were going to have the biggest turnout ever. That's because half the county employees are here in the room with us. I hope nobody needs anything. Together, we've come through a very difficult and heartbreaking year. As your mayor, I've had the privilege of seeing what so few will ever see. I see how hard our county employees work and how much they care. And this past year in particular, through it all, you've demonstrated such compassion and such strength. You've done a remarkable job. On behalf of the citizens of Orange County, thank you again. And now, and normally I would say right now, get back to work, except for that I'm going to ask you to join us outside in a few minutes to help make a tremendous heart. I also want to thank those citizens who are so actively engaged, those who serve on our advisory boards and attend our board meetings, and our technology and social media work group, and those who have participated in our Orange County experience. I'm constantly amazed at the level of engagement of our community. And finally, I continue to be so grateful to my kitchen cabinet, my personal source of inspiration, energy, and ideas, my amazing family. To my husband, Bruce, honey, thank you. I love you, and I don't know how you put up with everything that goes on behind the scenes with this job, but I love you for it. And to my kids, Josh, Max, Lisa, and Chase. Lisa is the only one not here. She's in Austin watching us live. Thank you for your support, and thanks for always challenging me to be my best. And to my mom is here with us today. Mom, you're my source of original inspiration, and thank you for being here. You know, before I move on, many of you that know me personally know that there is nothing in this world that I'm more proud of or love more dearly than my 4 kids. So if you can just indulge me for just a minute to brag about one of them. If I had more time, I'd brag about all. But given the fact that we're talking a lot about local government services here today, I wanted to mention my middle son, Max. Many of you know him and have known him in different capacities. But 3 years ago, Max graduated from UCF, and last year he came home and said, you know what, I've had a change of heart. I want to be a firefighter. He got his EMT certificate, and he got his firefighter certificate. And 2 weeks ago, I had the honor of pinning him as a Kissimmee Fire Department firefighter, and he's here today. And I know he couldn't be more proud of being with Kissimmee, and I couldn't be more proud of him. You know, there are many ways, well, I could probably, because if one of my kids would run for county commissioner or mayor, just throwing that out there as a possibility. When I'm done, of course. You know, there are so many ways to measure the state of the county, the health and wellness of our community, and to measure how well our children, families, and businesses are doing. But let's start, as we do each year, with our overall economic health, which provides such confidence, inspiration, and energy for the future. By any measure, we've come a long way in a short time. Today, our unemployment rate is 4.2%. That's down from a high of 11.3% in the height of the worldwide recession, a full 60% drop. We've added 127,000 new jobs. You may recall we lost about 30,000 during the recession. And for the second year in a row, we've ranked number 1 in the nation for job growth among large regions. Forbes magazine ranks Metro Orlando region as number 3 for the best big cities for jobs in 2016. And it's not just that we're adding jobs, we're actually increasing the wages, something that we have been working for years to accomplish. A crucial measure of economic health is the wage level here in Orange County. And for 2016, to point that out, Forbes ranked us the 12th in wage growth, and they are projecting that we will be in the second place for that spot next year, or this coming year, actually. Our county permitting numbers reflect the same momentum. In fact, we've seen over 3,500 new almost permitted last year, a number that catapults our 2016 building permit valuations to $2.5 billion. That is a 31% increase over the previous year. For the 4th year in a row, countywide property tax valuations are up. In fact, our taxable property value grew by 9.2% in 2016 to over $109 billion. Almost all of our economic indicators for Central Florida are strong. Areas that are particularly strong have been our housing and our tourism industry, which have shown just a remarkable ability to rebound. But the story that these indicators don't tell is the story behind the scenes that local governments throughout the state of Florida have lived. For instance, property tax collections, which are our largest source of income and revenue, fell by nearly 25% during the recession, 24.8% to be exact. And this year, for the first time, they have returned to their pre-recession levels. However, since the start of the recession, our demands for services have continued to rise. In fact, they've increased significantly, largely due to the 15% increase in population we've had during this same time. To prepare for what we knew would be a new normal for local governments, primarily as a result of property tax reform, in my first 2 years as your mayor, I undertook a top-to-bottom restructuring and significantly reduced staffing levels. The one area I didn't touch, the one area that is always sacrosanct, is public safety. Today, with 15% more residents to serve, we are still operating with less employees than before the recession. As a result of the restructuring, we've been able to balance our budget without cutting services and without raising taxes. We have maintained healthy reserves and very, very low long-term liabilities, so we won't be burdening future generations, your children, with excessive debt. And this type of fiscal discipline has earned us a AAA bond rating across the board. By delivering quality services and maintaining low tax burden, we're creating an environment in which families and businesses can thrive. It's the job of Orange County to use your tax dollars wisely, and I promise you, in Orange County, we take this job very seriously. Of course, we can't discuss our local economy or your county government without reflecting on our robust tourism industry. No other community in the nation or the world benefits from the solid leadership that we have from Disney, Universal Studios, and SeaWorld. Their investments, coupled with our investment of tourist development tax dollars in worldwide marketing and in our convention center, have allowed us to maintain our position as the #1 tourist destination in the nation. Representing approximately a third of our economy, it's obvious why the strength of tourism is crucial, not only to Orange County, but to the region and the state. But beyond the obvious benefits, during the past 10 years, Orange County has invested almost $650 million in the city's downtown venues. Without this substantial infusion of tourist tax funding, we wouldn't have been able to build the new Amway Center or the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts Center. And the Camping World Stadium would never have benefited from such massive renovations. So while we're talking about Camping World Stadium, I know there were a few doubting Thomases out there, and I understand that Mike Thomas, probably one of our biggest doubting Thomases, is not here with us today. But I need to share that I had a few doubts of my own along the way about whether this would be a worthwhile investment. But I can tell you, if Steve Hogan is here, there is nobody that is more relentless or persuasive than Steve Hogan. He promised that if we invested in Camping World Stadium, we would reap the benefits of being able to recruit blockbuster events. So how are we doing so far? Well, you tell me. Or I could let Mayor Dyer tell you. So how about Copa, the NFL preseason game, the Rolling Stones, Pro Bowl, WrestleMania 33, with a record-setting crowd of over 75,000 people? There are so many more examples, but we are now a destination that successfully competes for some of the most prestigious events, as well as longtime favorites like our cherished historic Florida Classic. And the benefits to our local community from a thriving tourism industry don't stop there. How about the Dr. Phillips Center with its incredible shows and breathtaking architecture? We knew from the beginning that we were getting a world-class facility. But Jim Pugh, Kathy Ramsberger, and the entire board of directors also promised us that this would be a center that offered arts for all ages. Wow, have they delivered. And how excited was our whole region just last month when we celebrated the groundbreaking for the final phase, the Steinmetz Hall and the Green Room. Within just a few short years, our own performers from the ballet, the opera, Philharmonic, and more will take up residence in the finest new performance hall in the nation. Now, a quick story to share. Immediately after we put down our shovels, I'm overwhelmed thinking about the creativity the center will generate, and wow, we finally arrived. We finally got here after so many years of wondering if it would happen. A reporter comes up and asks me, "What's next?" And I'm thinking to thank you, because I'm thinking to myself, really? We have to have a next? I mean, how about we just have a now? Let's just celebrate. But I thought about it a little, and I was like, what other community in the world is riding such a wave of so many landmark accomplishments, like the opening of Sunrail, the Amway Center, the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, a complete renovation of Camping World Stadium, a new MLS soccer franchise, along with a new privately funded soccer stadium, the completion of our Beltway and the widening of I-4 underway simultaneously, a new urban campus for UCF on the horizon, along with a huge new terminal and multimodal transportation center at Orlando International Airport. Where else has this much been accomplished in the wake of the Great Recession? And where else, better still, would anybody have the audacity to ask the question, what's next? Well, I can think of only 2 mayors in the country that can answer that question. And since I have the mic right now and Mayor Dyer doesn't, I'll take the liberty of answering it. So what is next? Okay, you probably think I'm just going to dodge the question altogether, but I have an answer. You may recall that last summer I announced a proposal that would free up substantial TDT funding. The proposal was unanimously approved by our commission, and it has enabled us to contribute additional TDT funding to help complete the Dr. Phillips Center, fulfilling a promise that we made to this community 10 years ago. The restructuring, though, has also resulted in significant benefits for the City of Orlando and the downtown CRA. It opened the door to funding other important community priorities, like establishing a sports bid fund so that we can continue to bring those events to our new Camping World Stadium. And it allows us to advance the Convention Center CIP. It also allows us to issue a competitive grant program to help fund other community venues in this community, something we're very excited about doing this next year, assuming that all goes well at the legislative level. Just keep your eye on that one. Again, this wouldn't be possible without the strength of tourism and our very strategic use of TDT dollars. This tax, by the way, is paid by tourists, not by our local citizens, and it is providing amazing entertainment options and opportunities for our local families, as well as the chance for us to showcase our region to sports fans, business leaders, millennials, and entrepreneurs around the globe. Is it any wonder that Forbes magazine has also included us in the top 10 list of cities where Americans are moving right now? You know, we use the term collaboration a lot in Central Florida, but the value of our partnership with the City of Orlando can't be overstated. So please join me in recognizing Mayor Dyer and his City Council, our partners. Thank you so much for all that you do. But our investment in Orange County's future doesn't stop there. In 2015, I proposed one of the largest infrastructure programs in our history. Known as Invest in Our Home for Life, this $300 million investment program provides for public safety, parks, pedestrian safety, road construction, and transportation improvements, all without raising your taxes. Topping the invest list is a $200 million investment in roads, and more roads. But compared to the old way of building roads, today we're not just focused on moving automobiles. We're also focused on investing in design of our roadways that embrace our highly mobile pedestrian and biking population, something that is a very, very real and personal concern, I think, to each and every one of us in this room, especially today. The reality is we top so many lists for so many great reasons, but in this category, we're on the list for the wrong reason. When it comes to pedestrian safety, we've got to do better. To date, we've spent about $1 million on pedestrian safety improvements, with much more planned in areas where our pedestrians and bicyclists are at greatest risk. And already we're working hand in hand with our partners at UCF to dramatically improve the area around University Boulevard and Alafaya Trail. By the way, also along University Boulevard, you'll see the newly installed Invest sign, identifying the location for our newest fire station, one of 3 brand new fire stations that are in the works. Our commitment to public safety doesn't stop there, and neither do our efforts to save you money. I'm so proud to announce that through hard work and strategic investment, we have dramatically improved our ISO rating. So if you're like me, you're probably asking the question, what is an ISO rating? If we have any insurance salesmen out here, they can answer the question, but let me take a stab at this. ISO is an organization that rates fire departments based on their ability to respond to property fires. In other words, it's a very real measure of our public safety. And this year, Orange County Fire Rescue leaped to the highest ISO rating, a huge accomplishment. To put this in perspective, of the more than 48,000 fire departments evaluated by ISO in the U.S., only 241 departments are rated Class 1. In other words, we score in the top half percentile of the ISO-rated fire departments in the nation. Chief Drodes, those are some serious bragging rights. Where's the chief? In Orange County, public safety is always job number one, and this new ranking is a clear indication of a job exceedingly well done by our Fire Chief Otto Droz and the dedicated men and women who stand ready to serve you or save you in your hour of need. I could not be more proud. And now, I want to share one other component of the ISO rating, because it's not all about public safety, it's also about saving you some money. The ISO rating helps with our economic development. I know I saw Tim Giuliani out there somewhere, our new director of a CEO of our economic partner, Orlando Economic Partnership. Thank you. I got it. I got the right name. It used to be our Economic Development Commission. Well, believe it or not, CEOs, site selectors rely heavily upon ISO ratings when evaluating an area for potential relocation and job creation. And the reason is simple. The lower the ISO rating, the lower the insurance premiums. But these reduced insurance premiums aren't limited to commercial property. They also apply to homestead property. So if you're a homeowner, I wouldn't hesitate to make a phone call and see if you may be qualifying for a reduction in your premiums. And you can always tell them Mayor Jacobs told you to call. I don't know if that's really going to help. That could hurt, but you can try. Not only are we tireless in boosting the effectiveness of our public safety operations, but we're also putting strength to work as we continue to battle the deadly presence of heroin and other drugs in our Central Florida community. Since 2015, when I convened the Orange County Heroin Task Force, which was co-chaired by Sheriff Demings, we worked tirelessly to impact this epidemic. Here's the reality. Our local law enforcement communities are doing everything that they can to pursue the dealers that prey on the addicted. But we recognize that if we concentrated only on trying to cut off the supply without also addressing the demand, we would never be successful. So the task force also focused on what we could do to immediately impact the pain and suffering of local families and addicts. And boy, did they deliver. For instance, in the past, only our paramedics carried naloxone, a life-saving drug that counteracts the effects of heroin and can literally save someone's life on the spot. However, as of last year, the Sheriff's Office and OPD began equipping their officers with naloxone, and as a result, as of February, they have saved nearly 80 lives. On the legislative front, the task force served as a springboard for statewide legislation, allowing naloxone to be dispensed without a prescription, making it available to the general public. And another important recommendation of the task force was to introduce Vivitrol, a very promising drug that, along with treatment, interrupts the addiction cycle. Not only have we provided overdose prevention information to hundreds of heroin-addicted inmates in our county jail, we are the first county, one of the first county jails in the state to implement Vivitrol pilot project. This is a groundbreaking approach that can help prevent relapse and reduce cravings and reduce recidivism. In other words, helping the people that leave our jail not return. We know that naloxone is life-saving, and we know that Vivitrol can be life-changing, and we know that more funding will be needed. But unlike so many communities across the nation that are fighting this, we also know that here in Orange County there's hope. That hope comes from the efforts of our entire heroin task force and from our culture of collaboration and compassion. Another big reason to have hope, our outstanding law enforcement agencies. Led by Sheriff Demings and Chief Mina, FDLE Special Agent in Charge Banks, the MBI team, and all of our police chiefs and the men and women of law enforcement across the region, they are working tirelessly to rid our community of drug dealers. Ladies and gentlemen, please, everyone who contributed to this effort, the task force members, all the men and women of law enforcement, please stand so that we can recognize you. Okay, the reluctance of a few of our rank-and-file law enforcement members here is going to validate what I'm about to tell you. In fact, each and every day, the men and women of law enforcement hit the streets to keep us safe. And they do so knowing that there's always the possibility that they won't return home to their families. These real-life heroes put their lives on the line, not for money and certainly not for glory. They do this because they know, in the words of Edmund Burke, that all that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. When tragedy struck on January 9th, we lost 2 of our beloved heroes, and the hearts of our entire community were shattered yet again. Orlando Police Department Lieutenant Deborah Clayton and Orange County Sheriff Deputy First Class Norman Lewis, we will never forget you. We will never forget your sacrifice, and we will never forget your families. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me for a moment of silence as we remember our fallen heroes. And to all of our men and women in law enforcement that hit the streets every day, thank you. We can never completely understand the debt of gratitude that we owe you. In addition to the vital public safety necessities, in Orange County, we're also investing in the heart of our community, housing for our families. In a national study released just last month, our region ranked 3rd from the bottom for our supply of housing that's affordable for the extremely low-income residents. 3rd from the bottom. While this isn't just a local problem, it is a national one. We're exploring solutions that can be implemented at a regional level. In October, we hosted our first Affordable Housing Summit with the help of chairman, mayor, senator, in this case, I would say Secretary, HUD Secretary Mel Martinez. We brought together planners, developers, local government leaders to explore affordable housing solutions. From new strategies to current best practices, we're committed to creating housing options that are more inclusive of our housing market. By the way, one of the outcomes of the summit is a series of in-depth workshops. The first one is scheduled for May 19th, so please, if you don't have this on the calendar, make sure to mark the date. While these and other long-term efforts are underway, we're already moving forward with new workforce housing. To date, we've committed $2.7 million for some innovative developments. In South Apopka, we've partnered with Habitat for Humanity to break ground on 2 neighborhoods for low-income families. Folks, if you've never been there, when a Habitat family receives the key to their home, I urge you to put this on your bucket list. Working side by side and sharing the joy of a family getting their new home, few experiences in life are more rewarding. In East Orange County, we're already welcoming residents to Golden Point, a gorgeous new 70-unit family apartment complex with a special emphasis on welcoming low-income families, including apartment units dedicated to homeless families. These projects and more, including our transformative community partnership with Wayne Dench, which expands housing for the most at-risk homeless families, will have generational impacts. We continue to find other ways to improve our quality of life and to save you money here in Orange County. In 2009, our convention center installed over 6,000 solar panels. In fact, the project was the largest municipal solar rooftop array in the Southeast, producing enough electricity to power just about everybody here in the room's homes. Actually, more than that. While solar energy has been available for commercial and residential use for over a decade, last summer, in partnership with Florida Solar United Neighborhoods, we established a county-wide solar co-op, making it easier and more efficient to be part of the solar savings movement. I think we had about 500 people join. So let me show you an example of how the system works and the savings. So you see right there we have a home, the rooftop, you can see the solar array. Over to the right of that, you can see that there's an app associated with it. This home is actually participating. This is a real-life example that came about as a result of the solar co-op. And, oh, by the way, that is my home. And Bruce and I have just loved the experience, other than the fact that my husband is a little bit addicted to checking the app to see how much energy we're generating. And I'm constantly, honey, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's constant. I get texts all day long letting me know where we are in the process here. And but unfortunately, my addiction is constantly trying to calculate what does that mean in terms of how much we've saved every day. I can tell you this, it's pretty impressive. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't looked at it, this is absolutely the time to do it. I have another Sunshine-powered initiative to let you in on. This one is fun, and this one is sure to be delicious. As we prepare to celebrate the amazing bounty of our sunny Florida climate and our growing foodie climate. So let's watch. we are a great city when it comes to great dining. We're becoming quite the foodie place to be, and most people still don't know that. So one of the goals that we have is that we want to wake up everybody's interest and their appetite in Orlando, and having a common dish that when you come here, you have to have that dish. The idea actually began when Graciela and I were in London, and one of the things that we did was we decided we had to go someplace and get fish and chips, because London is known for fish and chips. Then we had a trip to Philadelphia, and of course we had to find some place to get a traditional Philly cheesesteak. Well, we haven't been to Mississippi, but if we go to Mississippi, I know what we're going to do. We're going to look for Mississippi mud pie. So we got talking about it, and geez, does Orlando have a signature dish? What are we known for? And asked a lot of people, and about the only answer I got was fried turkey legs. That was the moment where I said, you know, I think there's more to do on our branding campaign.
With the mayor's vision set and her guidance and leadership, Orlando's culinary community is getting to work. Some of the best chefs from across our region have gathered with their expertise and passion for Orlando to start creating this signature dish.
So what I hope that people take away when they leave Orlando after having experienced this delicacy is that there's more to Orlando than meets the eye. There's also the Orlando that meets the palate. When people come here, we want them to experience all of the senses and to experience all the richness and flavor that is Orlando. And how can you do that without tasting our signature dish, whatever it becomes? Join the conversation by using hashtag #MyOrlandoDish. All right, that was fun. So, but would you all agree with me that we can do better than fried turkey legs? Tim, would you agree with me that we must do better than fried turkey legs? So, I look forward to having everybody participate. We're going to do it during Magical Dining Month, and I can tell you this. I have never been in a room with chefs before. This should turn out well because they are one serious group of people. I had no idea. So I'm looking forward to how it turns out. But I think there's a level of stress around that for all of them. So how about one more benefit of a glorious sunshine? All parents out there will agree with me when I say that there is nothing better than taking your kids to a park to enjoy the Central Florida sunshine and letting them burn off some of that wild energy that it seems only kids can have. But you know, just as we've expanded our approach to road design, we're taking a similar approach with our parks and recreational facilities. By embracing inclusive design, we're supporting all of Orange County's citizens, especially our precious children with unique challenges. The truth is that more than being taken care of, what most of us want is to be able to take care of ourselves. And that's absolutely true when it comes to children who just yearn for independence and self-sufficiency. That's why it meant so much to me to join Commissioner Thompson to celebrate the recent opening of Young Pine Community Park, our first park to use inclusive design as its foundation. By thinking creatively about our children of all abilities, we've created the best of the best, a playground accessible and enjoyable to everyone. If you haven't had a chance to visit Young Pine Park, I urge you to stop by. Not only is the park beautiful, it brings to life our core values and our commitment to diversity, compassion, and caring for each other. And I'm not just talking about how we design projects to embrace diversity and compassion. I'm talking about us, this community, who we are. Until June 12th, we never really knew the depth of our compassion, the strength of our unity, and the world had never seen our shining heart or our caring soul. This year's State of the County could focus entirely on the single defining event of 2016, the Pulse nightclub shooting. But rather than allow our community to be defined by the horrific acts of hatred by a mass murderer, I want to share some personal thoughts about June 12th, what we lost, how we loved, what we learned, and what the world learned about us and from us. First and foremost, my prayers continue to be with the families and friends and loved ones of our 49 brothers and sisters lost in the early morning hours of that day. My prayers also go out to Barbara Poma and to all at Pulse. I don't know how you have endured what you have, but we think of you every day. And my thoughts go out to those who were physically injured and those who bear the deep emotional scars of survival. I want each and every one of you to know, and everyone who is so deeply affected, that in this community, you are not alone. I know that nothing can ever erase the harm that was done. Yet as dark and devastating as June 12th was, so many found solace and strength from the unity, the compassion, and the love that poured forth from all parts of our community. In fact, from all parts of the nation and the world. And as we focused our attention on what we could do for each other, the world focused its attention on us. The world watched us as we mourned, and as we rallied with the common goal of supporting our LGBTQ and Latinx communities and all of those affected. The world watched us as we responded to the victims and their families, and to those with broken hearts and those with broken bodies. The world saw our first and second responders at their very best. The world witnessed the extraordinary outpouring of acceptance and love that came naturally from the very fabric of our community. Through it all, the world gained a much fuller understanding of who we are. But it was not just the world's perception of us that changed, it was our perception and understanding of ourselves. Through our response to the greatest attack we've ever withstood and the greatest loss we've ever suffered, we learned something incredible about ourselves. We've known that our culture of collaboration has allowed us to accomplish so much, but we discovered that it was our culture of compassion that makes Orlando such an incredibly rich place to live. So we are so very honored to have this opportunity to fly Section 93 of the C2C Rainbow Flag.
Hate visited our community, has taken the lives of innocent people, and has shaken us to our core and broken our hearts. But hate will not define us. Hate will not defeat us, because we are one Orlando.
This whole community stands behind you, and we will stand in front of you, and we will stand beside you to fight for your right to be who you are.
Orlando didn't react with hatred to this horrible hate crime. We reacted with love. We reacted in a way that was unprecedented. Muslim community, gay community, straight community, everyone came together after Pulse.
I ask all of Orlando and the world to never forget the feelings we had that morning 6 months ago. It is important that we never forget, so that we are forever changed, and that we will always remember to act with kindness and love.
No tribute or remembrance would be complete without saying thank you. Thank you to the many heroic club goers and passersby who courageously rushed in to provide first aid during the initial moments of the attack. Thank you to the Orlando Hospital team, Orlando Health team. Without your response, we would have lost so many lives. Your efforts were nothing short of miraculous. To our first responders, including firefighters, EMTs, our medical examiner's office, and law enforcement from throughout Central Florida and the nation, I offer the heartfelt thanks of millions. I'm not sure that we'll ever fully understand or know the man-hours devoted to public safety and the result and the pursuit of justice, but I do know this: behind every badge, every 911 operator, and every firefighter, behind every nurse, counselor, and doctor beats the heart of a hero. To each of you, we are forever grateful. Above all, we will never forget the lives and the loss of our 49 brothers and sisters. Together with Pulse, with the City of Orlando, with our Orange County Regional History Center, with the One Orlando Alliance, we're planning a number of events in June to commemorate the terrible loss suffered by our LGBTQ, Hispanic, and broader communities. But this morning, in honor of those we lost, I'm deeply proud to invite you to join Mayor Dyer and I immediately after we're done here, right outside in the courtyard, to take part in what will be, with your help, the largest gathering of a worldwide movement for peace and unity. Let's take a look.
Manuel Frederic and Andrew Tisba brought their Let's All Connect campaign to Orlando.
A different kind of challenge has two young men traveling coast to coast trying to spread a message of peace during these increasingly violent times.
The worldwide peace movement has found its way here to
We
Hawaii.
love the story.
It is
They're calling
called
it Let's All Connect. Okay.
This has been an unforgettable year for Central Florida, with tremendous highs and heartbreaking lows. We've learned that only by choosing to face our future together and with confidence can we build a sustainable future for our children, our grandchildren, and generations to come. As I approach my last 19 months in office, I pledge to you that my administration will continue with the same unrelenting focus and momentum of our first 6.5 years. Every day, we will remain focused on making progress on complex problems, from affordable housing to pedestrian safety, to discovering more and better ways to serve you, our citizens, and to care wisely for your tax dollars. And just imagine what's to come. With so much progress, though, sometimes it's hard to be the pioneers, the leaders, and the doers. It means that we're the ones who have to live through the construction. We're the ones who have to grumble through the traffic. We're the ones who have to fight for the funding. But that's who we are. We're fearless collaborators and compassionate problem solvers, moving forward with great confidence and excitement for what the future holds. It is with this knowledge that I can report to you today that the state of Orange County is strong, it is resilient, and it is unified. It is proud, it is compassionate, and it is confident. It is confident in our ability to overcome challenges and confident that together we're going to achieve in ways that will continue to change lives and transform Orange County into the best that we can be. Together we will grow our culture of collaboration, compassion, and confidence, that we may continue to be a beacon of light, hope, and unity to the world. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your partnership, and may God bless each and every one of you.
You're watching Orange TV, your government in action, a service of Orange County government.